And on that note, we have so much fun to have today because today we're just going to learn how can you draw things. And when I say draw things, I mean we're going to write some graphics programs. And graphics programs at the end of the day are going to be pretty simple. They're going to be drawing circles, drawing rectangles, maybe drawing a little text, maybe drawing a couple lines. And here's how simple it can be. This is our hello world of graphics. This is a program that it's going to create a graphics canvas and then draw a single rectangle on it. Hello world. This is going to be exciting. Well, let's break down this program line by line. The first thing it does, it creates a graphics canvas. And this graphics canvas is a place where you get to draw all of your shapes. It can have a width, it can have a height. Well, actually, it always has a width and a height. This one just happens to be 800 wide and 200 pixels tall. And on it, you can draw shapes. So the first line created a canvas, and the second line on that canvas creates a rectangle. Where does it create a rectangle? Well, we're going to have to pass that in as information. We're going to say, here is the top left corner of my rectangle. It's 2020. And you're like, what's 2020 mean, Chris? Let me tell you. 2020 is a location on the canvas. The first 20 means pixels from the left, and the second 20 means pixels from the top. So it's saying it's 20 pixels from the left and 20 pixels from the top. That defines 1 point. A point doesn't define a whole rectangle, though. You need 2 of those points to define a rectangle. So if you want to create a rectangle in graphics, you're going to call this function, give it the top left point, and give it the bottom right point. The bottom right point, again, the first number is going to be pixels from the left. So this is 100 pixels from the left, and the second number is 100 pixels from the top. So if you were to draw a rectangle from 2020 to 100, you get this beautiful rectangle. And if you want it to be blue, all you have to do is ask. And you say, hey, can you make this blue? And it comes out blue. If you didn't have it, it would be black, but we do have it, so it's going to be blue. And there you have it. Hello world, you have your first rectangle. Just as a side, the graphics library we use in Code in Place is the native Python graphics library. So you're learning the natural thing. It's called tkinter, or TK for short. We use a couple convenience methods on top of it, but you are learning the real deal. Speaking of the real deal, do you guys want to see more? Because it's not just rectangles. You can learn a whole bunch of other things that you could draw. You really are going to want to know the canvas deeply. So the canvas is the space we're going to be drawing, and it's got this coordinate system. It's going to be new for a lot of us. It'll be something to learn, but something worth learning. The coordinate system, as I said, we define points by how many pixels there are from the left and how many pixels they are from the top. So this point over here is 0, 0. Let's say the canvas is canvas with canvas height. Let me give you a couple points. Here's the point 40, 20. So it's a little bit farther from the left than it is from the top. Great. Here's another point for contrast. This is 40, the same number of pixels from the left, but it's way more pixels from the top. So 4120, there it is. And here's another point where I switched the order. So now it's way more pixels from the left and only 40 pixels from the top. So you have 120, 40. This one's farther down than this one because this one's 20 pixels from the top and this one's 40 pixels from the top. There you have it. You might have to draw this on pencil and paper every once in a while to feel comfortable with it. That's how it works. Now, pedagogically, I thought it'd be fun to just show you a program that has a whole bunch of shapes on it, and we can use this as a chance just to walk through all the different sorts of shapes that you can draw. Don't feel at this point you need to memorize everything. There'll be great documentation for that. Instead, I want you to get a feel for what's possible and what sort of shapes you could use. So let's go over and let's look at my program. It's called Programming is Awesome because program really is awesome. And when I run this program, it does all of this drawing. So let's look at this line by line and see what it does. It creates a canvas, just like we said. It draws a line, and this is not a rectangle, it's a line. So it's this thin thing here, and it draws it from 0, 0, which is the top left point of the line, to 500, 500. Again, don't feel like you have to memorize this. We'll talk about it in a second. We'll give you documentation, but this creates a line. Then I create a blue square, and that blue square has width, height, 80. It starts at 70, 70, and it goes to 150, 150. I've specially instrumented this program so that when I move my mouse, you can see the canvas location I'm pointing at. So if I move my mouse all the way over here, can you guys see over here that that was 0, 0? So this point 0, 0. This point over here should be 500, 500, something close to it. So we're looking at this blue line. So from 70, 70 to 150, 150, there's a blue square. If I look at 70, 70, that's this point. If I look at 150, 150, that's this point. And there's a blue square between those 2 points. And it's not the only rectangle. There's another rectangle. It's at 250, 150. Let's see if we can go find it. So watch the location, and I'm looking for 250. Oh, there it is. And now I want the Y to be 150, and there it is. Oh, look, there's a rectangle under my mouse. From 250, 150 all the way to 500, 500, there is a rectangle. I didn't give it color, so it comes out black. This next line is possibly the most interesting one, the one you're going to want to focus on the most. This next line doesn't create a rectangle, it creates an oval. And I want you to notice a couple things. It's got the exact same coordinates as the black rectangle we just saw, and it's got the color red. Do you guys see the red oval? Yeah, there it is. There's a red oval, and it was given the coordinates 250, 150, and 500, 500, the same as the black rectangle. You know how tkinter draws ovals? A lot like most graphics libraries. You give it the bounding rectangle, and it draws the biggest oval it possibly can within that bounding rectangle. So this black rectangle represents the bounding rectangle we gave it, and it drew the biggest oval it could in that space, and it made it red. You don't like red, you like, say magenta. You run this program again, and you now have a magenta, which is a type of pink. You now have a magenta oval. What a time to be alive. And when you thought things couldn't get any more exciting, I have more exciting news for you. You can also add images, and you'll be able to use these images in your graphics programs. So I can say canvas, create an image. I give it a location. So let's look for 10, 180. There it is. You can see over here, this was close to 10, 180. Not perfect because my mouse wasn't perfectly accurate. And the image I drew was simba.png. If you go to your files, you can upload some images, and you just have to put the name of the image here and it will draw. The width and the height are based off the size of the file. And then finally we get to this line and it creates text. Look at that. It says programming is awesome with 3 exclamation points. Its color is green. Its font is clear. Its size is 20. And you can see it right over there. At 5020, that's this point, the top left corner of the text, it says programming is awesome. And we can make it bigger, like let's say 28, and we can make it more blue because blue is a beautiful color. And now it says programming is awesome, slightly bigger and in blue. I only have one file rectangle, and it's at this location, and I want to see if you can find it. Where is that rectangle? Okay, that was the blue rectangle, that one. This was the black rectangle, that one. This is the image, and it says there's another rectangle, but I don't see one. That's strange. Well, let's see if we can track it down from its location. It should be at 0, 800. So 0 pixels from the left, okay, and 800 pixels from the top. Ooh, I got to 500 pixels. Where is 0, 800? That rectangle is drawn like all the way down here. So, we don't see it. What time to be alive. I am going to now run this program again, and I want to just show you this executing line by line. So in the main, the first thing we do is create a canvas. Canvas is a variable. It's a big honking variable that stores this whole piece of information. The first thing we do is create a line. It goes from 0, 0 to 500, 500, and bing, there's our line. Next we do is create that rectangle from 77 to 150, 150. It's blue, and bing, there it is. Shall we make that big black rectangle? I think we should. There's our big black rectangle. And now we're going to create the oval, which is inset into that rectangle. So it has the exact same dimensions, but it's an oval and it's pink. And there it is. We can add that image. We can create the text. It goes through each of these things. Did you know if you have a lot of parameters, you can put them all on different lines? Fantastic. You can create your text. And then we create this rectangle that nobody can see, and we don't see it. And then we print Wahoo. What a time. And there you have it. As I said, you don't have to memorize it, but what I do want you to know is you can create lines, you can create rectangles, you can create ovals, create images and text, and you are going to need to know this coordinate system. So when we talk about points on the canvas, it's pixels from the left followed by pixels from the right. If you don't know what a pixel is, it's like the tiniest little square of color that a computer can draw. And there you have it. Programming. It is awesome. You can share this program with your friends, make it more exciting if you'd like. Now, just to go over this a little bit, we talked about a bunch of functions, but one of them was create line. And to create a line, you just gave 2 points. The first point is given as an X, Y location, so pixels from the left and pixels from the top of 1 point. Then you give pixels from the left and pixels top of another point, and Python will just draw a straight line between those two. If you call create line. Create oval, as I mentioned, you give 2 points. That defines an imaginary rectangle. The rectangle doesn't get drawn. What does get drawn is the biggest oval that fits within that rectangle, and that's how you create an oval. And creating text, you just give it a position. That position is the top left corner of the text, and then you say the text you want. There was optional parameters like color, and you could say things like font if you wanted to, but there you have it. And you might be wondering, hey, Chris, are you holding out on me? Like, where's the draw square or create square? Where's the create circle? There is no create square. There is no create circle. There's only rectangles and ovals. If you want to draw a circle, you just draw an oval with a square. If you want to draw a square rectangle, you just make sure its width is equal to its height.